You will often need to assemble a plotting sheet that contains several drawings or details which are at different scales. The plotting sheet, though, will be plotted at a single plot scale, and you will need the same dimension attributes for all dimensions on the sheet, regardless of the scale of the drawings or details. Look at the drawing on the screen right now. It's a machine part, and I want to enlarge the detail at the top here so I can dimension the gears in this area. So let's try this and see what happens. I'm going to enlarge that detail, so I need to clip out the detail and use the scale tool to enlarge it at the same time. So first I'm going to place a fence, and I'll use the shape fence because of the difficulty getting everything in, and the fence mode will be clip because I want to clip out and copy the details. So let me zoom in a little here, and let's place the fence itself. I want just this piece here, but I need these two dimensions as well. So we'll start there, go across there, carefully navigate through there, run across at approximately the same level, scoot around the drawing, through the gap, and connect to my starting point. So there's my fence in place. Now I'm going to zoom down a little bit, and now we start the scale tool. So I'm going to right-click in the drawing, select scale, and I want a 3 times scale for my detail. So let's change that to 3. Everything's in place. I'm using the fence, and I'm clipping out, but I need to copy because I need to leave behind the original elements. If I don't select copy, then I would actually clip out the elements and remove them. Not what I want. Everything's in place. Drag onto the screen, and we see the copy showing up. Left-click to place it, and right-click to stop the tool, and data point to clear the fence. Now, so far so good. It's clipped out nicely at 3 times the size, but notice the dimensions. Notice this dimension. Let me zoom in a little bit. The original dimension was 0.56 for a radius. My clipped out dimension is radius 1.69. Obviously, it's 3 times the original size of the dimension. Now, this is definitely not what I need. So I need to do a couple of things. If I want to retain these 2 dimensions, I need to reduce them to the original real size. Plus, if I want to add more dimensions to this system, which I do, because I want to dimension the actual gear teeth, I'll need to do something else as well. So we need to change the dimensions. So let's open up the Dimensions Styles box, and let's see what's going on right now. Using working units, which is fine, we have MU label, and we're working in inches as the master unit. Accuracy is 2 decimal places. That's fine. Text, still engineering, using 1/8 for the text height. Back to units. What we need to do is change the scale of our dimensions. And right now the scale factor is 1, which is the default. Now I need to change this scale factor to a value which will get me the same size text on the dimensions as the original full-size drawing. I've scaled it up by 3 times. I need to scale the drawings down by 3 times. So my factor then will become 0.333333 recurring. Throw a few 3s in. Enter to set it. As a matter of interest, this tick for reference scale is of no particular importance at this point in this operation. References relates to reference files, which we're not using here, and we'll discuss those in a later video. Reference scale can be on or off. It makes no difference at this point. We'll leave it on. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. And let's see what happens now to our dimensions. First of all, let's change these 2. I need to go to the Change Dimensions tool, start that, and let's click on this first dimension. It changes back to its original size. I've reduced it by 1/3. Same with this one. Reduced by 1/3 back to the original dimension size, as it should be. Now I've got a small problem. in as much as the length of the leaders, but that's easy to solve. Go across to the Modify Element tool. I'll zoom in a little bit. Grab the dimension, simply move it up a little closer. Do the same with this. Move it up a little closer. Very straightforward. That Modify Element tool is extremely useful for dimensions, amongst other things. Now, at this point, I could add dimensions to this system, and they would be absolutely correct. So let's try that. Here's a simple dimension. We'll just use the linear dimensioning tool to, say, dimension from the center here. We'll do it from the tooth there, right across to the tooth on the other side. This is hardly a right or correct way of dimensioning, but it serves a purpose. And that gives us the exact size that we need. Now that makes sense because I've just proved that the radius here is as it says it is. So that's a proper, correct dimension, a full-size dimension, not a scaled-up dimension. I'll undo that for the moment. Let's say you wanted to dimension the individual teeth, and therefore you need another enlarged detail of just the teeth in, say, this area. We can use the same techniques to do exactly that. I can do it here and put a fence around this area and make a scaled copy of that to, say, 6 times scale, or I can do it from here at 3 times scale. Let's do it from here at 6 times scale. Back to the fence tool. We'll change it to block, and I'll pick up this area here. And again, we're clipping out. Zoom back down. Off to the scale tool, right-click, scale. Change the scale to 6 times now. Copies again, and we're still using the clip. And here comes my copy. There, put it there. We'll zoom in, data point to get rid of the fence. And now I can put dimensions on this, but before I can do that, I need to bring back my dimension styles box and change the scale factor. It was 0.333 for a 3 times scale. This is now a 6 times scale, so I need 1.666666666 and enter. Close enough. We'll get rid of that. And now I can go in and dimension these teeth if I need to. So let's try a dimensioning tool. Alignment should be true in this case because I want them to coincide with the teeth, so I can dimension, say, that, and that, and that. And that is a correct full-size dimension for that detail. Now that's how this works for an immediate scaled copy in this drawing. But later on again, as I say, when we get into models and reference files, we'll see the same situation happening when we bring files into files or models into models. But the same procedures apply when we start talking about models and reference files in later videos. Now, if you want to experiment with this, I have included this file in your working files folder, and it's called scaledrawing.dgn. So this is a design file, not a PDF file.